microservices et je suis leader en blockchain et en fait je suis essentiellement dédié à Curiosity.
Alors qu'avant, tu étais sur Finance.
J'étais chez FS France et avant j'étais responsable du compte AXA. Ça fait partie d'une trajectoire un peu à part,
Ouais.
borderline, mais c'est qui me fait marrer,
Bah oui, c'est bien.
ça bouge les lignes quoi.
Bah complètement, complètement.
Il y en a quelques-uns comme ça, Elias Gallon, responsable fintech,
Oui, ça me dit quelque chose,
type
oui.
que j'ai embauché d'Interpol pour des problèmes Farham, Seito qui a 40 ans, c'est une police criminelle du Karachi qui fait
Sur le web.
conseiller de Ben Ki-moon
Non.
pour le Yémen,
Waouh.
qui était responsable des projets techno chez eux. Tout le réseau qui est comme ça. Et en fait, on se tourne bien. Ils sont assez étonnants. Ils n'ont pas leur place dans le côté billable, project oriented technology. Ils sont des talents. Voilà. Donc avec ça, je pense qu'on peut faire des gros trucs. Toi, c'est une mission, c'est un peu une mission commune. C'est pas une armée. C'est pas mal.
Oui, mais il vaut mieux des gens comme ça
Je fais une
passionnés.
chaire avec l'école polytechnique.
Ah bon?
Je t'ai dit.
Non.
Je fais une chaire blockchain Capgemini Polytechnique, dans laquelle on va capitaliser sur leurs efforts de recherche et d'éducation. Et nous, on va apporter les compétences de la mise en production, orchestration, écosystème, business, gouvernance, juridique, éthique, tout ce qui va. Et on va annoncer ça bientôt. C'est assez innovant et on veut connecter ça au MIT et à Harvard. C'est un truc pour inviter Paul Hermelin dans un film. Il y a des beaux trucs à faire. Tu vois,
Oui.
typiquement un écosystème day comme ça, on peut faire ça à X. Vous voulez ça, je sais pas si vous savez comment ça marche à X. Cœur d'écosystème. Blockchain et X.
Et Paul Hermelin, c'est qui?
Comment?
Vous n'avez pas une invitation?
Non, pas tous les 4 matins, mais il suit ça. Il m'a parlé, PSI Audace lui a parlé de prochain blockchain écosystème. Il suit ça. C'est à la limite de ce que lui. Bon, c'est pas son cœur à Jean-Marc. C'est plutôt Thierry. C'est quand Thierry nous a dit ça. Écosystème. Tout l'enjeu, c'est d'avoir les bons stakeholders. Ouais.
Et quand on va démarrer ce collab, à quelle heure vous allez démarrer?
Salut. Merci de doubler le segment.
C'est l'heure du déjeuner, c'est sûr.
Alors, on va démarrer dans 5 minutes, ça vous convient?
Tout va bien.
Attendez, faut que je monte pour faire les nuggets.
C'est parti.
On y va?
C'est vous qui partez.
C'est toi qui commence.
Bah, c'est-à-dire qu'après, on va nous vider la salle. C'est dans 30 minutes. Si vous êtes encore 2 minutes de plus, c'est très bien. Voilà, c'est le temps, c'est à vous de choisir. Oui, mais dans 5 minutes, ce ne sera pas forcément très différent.
Vas-y.
Là, c'est pour le premier déjeuner par Zoom.
C'est toi qui passes les slides? Comment on fait là-dessus pour passer les
Ça
slides?
marche.
Ouais, ouais. Je pensais bien qu'il n'y aurait pas forcément super cool, mais.
On y va. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to this presentation. I'm Damien
And I'm Michel.
from Capgemini. We are going to introduce you to this innovative initiative called Trusted Car that we are leading with a number of leaders in the French ecosystem, in the car industry. It's a very car-centric initiative. It's actually a B2B platform that we're aiming at building to deliver trustful services that you trust throughout the ecosystem. And it's powered by blockchain. It's not a technology project, it's really a domain and business-oriented project, but blockchain is the backbone of what we're doing. I like this quote, "All companies are doomed to be platforms," from Gilles Babinet. There's a big momentum around B2B platforms. There's a big momentum about the platformization of the economy and the platform thinking as a new way to look at your business opportunities. A new way to look at things, a new way to look at the way you deliver value in the car ecosystem. My focus at Capgemini is these B2B platforms and blockchain. The focus of Michel is really the domain expertise around the car industry. And he's leading the Trusted Car initiative that we are going to share with you. Just a few words on B2B platforms. A lot of people agree they're the new way, disruptive way, to unlock the value from a number of ecosystems, business ecosystems. The auto ecosystem is really one of these ecosystems which will benefit the most from this platformization. When you look at the ecosystem, you look at a number of stakeholders. Car makers, obviously, suppliers, car dealers, garage networks, certifiers. Obviously, you have insurers and fleet managers as well, so it's an extended ecosystem. You're starting to see a number of new mobility service providers, startups included, and third-party providers. This is the ecosystem we're looking at. These are the stakeholders we touched and reached out to in this Trusted Car initiative, with a focus of France to start with, but the ambition to scale globally. The benefit of connecting through a B2B platform essentially are twofolds. One is to reach efficiency gains, cost efficiency gains, because processes will be processed in a better way, better interactions. Another way is to enable the delivery of new business services. That's the holy grail of what we're doing. That's a way for stakeholders to imagine, and the sky is the limit there, new ways of doing business together. Platforms will be the glue that brings organizations together in the digital economy. That's a quote from the World Economic Forum. And we are really looking at gluing this ecosystem together through a very strong digital platform. Now, trust is at the heart of what we're doing. Without trust, if you don't trust the interactions in the ecosystem, and if you don't trust the identity of the car, all of these is probably useless. So, no big surprise, blockchain comes in as the enabler of trust in this ecosystem. So let's look at blockchain in a very simple way across its three attributes. The first attribute is probably the fact that you want to share truth, you want to share information in an ecosystem, and you have to design the way you want to do it. In many situations, you share information on a need-to-know basis only. You just share what you want to share. In some situations, you're able to broadcast the information to a larger amount of people. This is the public versus private blockchain. Data integrity is key as well. Immutability, traceability, security, these are all attributes you're going to look for when looking at a blockchain design. And finally, you want to automate processes. This is the smart contract dimension, which enables a lot of new processes automation. I put some logos. R3 Corda is a big one, obviously, protocol that you may know, which is a bilateral network. Hyperledger Fabric is another one. And Ethereum is a very famous one. You have to choose the right protocol for the right use case. And let's look at the use case we are touching now, which is trusted car. And I leave the floor to Michel.
Thank you, Damien. So you explained basically 80% of the business process that we are implementing. Maybe it's next slide. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the Trusted Car initiative. So you understood that it is a platform, a fully B2B platform. So the clients of the platform are companies. And these companies are coming on the platform to build and deliver services that needs to assemble various companies to be delivered. Okay? So this platform, thank you. This platform is about the business to business for services around the car. You probably know, I heard many times during this Mondial that 65% of families, 65% of people in France still go to work by car. 85% of families possess a car. So you understand easily that the car is a key asset for mobility services. But the car is also especially a key asset when your business is, for example, to sell second-hand cars, yeah, of course. So trusting in your car is absolutely essential. And trusting in the car, it's a little bit like in production where you are producing a car in a plant. You have a critical equipment. If this equipment fails at a moment, you are out of production. If you have the critical asset to deliver your service is a car. So the first question we had was, how can you understand if you can trust this car or not? And then we come to data. What type of data do we need to trust a car? And basically, it's very simple. In fact, it's a bit like you want to know a person. You need the passport of the person, the CV of the person, the resume of the person, let's say. You need maybe the health book of the person or the Facebook of the person. And then you're absolutely clear about who you have in front of you. For the car, it's the same. You need the identity of the car. You need the health book of the car, the maintenance that has been done on the car, the repairs, etc. And you also need to get some information about how this car has been used, shared, for example, or rented, etc. So this is all the type of data we want to collect on a car in order to be sure that we can trust the car and build services on this key asset. And there is one essential information that we call the trusted car identity that we want to collect in the platform and share among all the actors. And this identity, this registry, which is hosted in the blockchain, we increment progressively the identity of the car. So, of course, you know that there is a lot of initiatives that are providing data around cars. Startups providing data, neutral server, for example, between the original equipment manufacturers that are trying to work together in order to understand what type of data they should share. So the question between public and private in the data is still an issue. And the way we decided to treat them is to do it use case by use case. When you have two companies that need to share data, they agree upon what type of data they will share. Okay? So if we go to the next slide, if we want to build complex or end-to-end services that involve multiple partners, we need to have these partners around the table. That's a quite basic assumption. And the partners, so we are building this platform with an ecosystem. We have 4 types of partners so far around the table: OEMs, tier 1 suppliers, which are traditional actors of the automotive industry. Maybe some of you belong to these companies. We also have service providers in financing, insurance, fleet management, certification, etc. Online services, for example, online selling parts online. We have, of course, technology providers, and we have a couple of startups. And basically, for the startups, you can see on the logo of France Autotech. We are sponsoring also France Autotech. So the startups are the startups from France Autotech that will bring the first apps that will be hosted on the platform. So the role of the Trusted Car platform is to connect this ecosystem, to implement the operating model of this ecosystem in order to do business together, and to deliver for the companies that will be on the platform, to deliver the service to their clients. Thank you. So I don't remember exactly how many companies I met to launch this platform, to start this initiative. But there is one thing that I remember is that each time I met for the first time a company, the first question of the company was, what will be the use case on your platform? Wow. And I must tell you that it was quite a difficult question for me. It's a little bit if you were asking, let's say 11 years ago to Apple, what will be the applications in the Apple Store? So my answer at the beginning was, no, you did not understand. There will not be use cases on the platform. You will build the use cases. And no. So I stopped this type of discussion, and I said, basically what we want to do is a platform that enables business. To enable this business, you have basic applications that you need to provide. First, it seems to be obvious, but it's better when you say it. It is a kind of business book. You come to the platform to understand who is doing what, where they are located, and especially, could it be a right partner to build my service? The second is that as soon as the platform is hosting transactions, you need to have a way to materialize the transaction, a smart contract, a way to pay between companies. But there is also some services like payment of their, for their clients that are consuming the service. So this is all the type of services that we support, I would say, the operating model. Okay? By the way, of course, we have started to design. We have around 50 use cases, and I would say in 4 big categories. So you know, Apple Store, your categories are game, productivity, etc. You probably know that very well. For us, the categories are the administrative journey of a car, how to do all the papers online, documentation of the car, insurance, even financing, etc. The second category is, once you have sold your car, is ongoing maintenance, how you can check that you collect all the data from the car, from the health of the car, but also, which is interesting, how you can build services on this data and avoid to go at the last minute to repair something. A very interesting example I had, which is not a use case that we have, but better to understand. If you look at Tesla, I had this problem. That's a personal experience, I would say. I had this problem with the Tesla. There was a problem on the battery, and I was going to Lyon. So I had a call from Tesla in the car. They said to me, don't worry, you can go. We monitor your travel. And if you have a problem, we will tell you if you have to reduce the speed, if you have to stop, etc. Don't worry. But at a certain time, we will tell you that you have to stop in a garage, and you will have time to eat, and someone will come and repair your car during your lunch. And then you stop, you are fully guided, you collect your car, it's charged, and you can go. So this type of services, you understand that it's what I call ongoing maintenance. It will structure the way you deliver services tomorrow. And the two last services are around what we call the car as a service. So the car is a way to, the car as a service basically is you share your car, you rent a car, etc. And the last is the services to the occupants in the car. There was a very interesting startup around it. I don't remember the name. It should be Quasar or something like that. If you are in Paris, you know you can pay by phone. You have this app, Pay by Phone, in Paris. So they are creating an app, Pay by Car. It's not your iPhone that pays, but your car that pays the entrance to the parking, that pays the motorway, etc. And you have a bill at the end of the month that is delivered to you. If we want to enter in this type of services, you need to connect this with the blockchain. You need to improve the way of working today. So this is basically what we call the use cases that we will have on the platform. So a complex service. Especially, I had a very interesting discussion here with a guy from the guy which was on the scene from Saint-Gobain. He said, if you want to do a car sharing business, or he was talking to Frédéric Mazella from BlaBlaCar, and he said, okay, BlaBlaCar, you need people meet at a certain point, because if they share a car, they need to meet and to go in the same car. So if you want a meeting point that is comfortable, if you want a meeting point where a guy can come with his car, park the car safely, if you want to rent a car and to have a check of the car after, we have 1,500 points in France where we can organize for you this meeting. And they will wait in good conditions. It will transform your service into a premium service, which could be very interesting for you. So this is a kind of opportunity we will have on the platform. So this is what we call the network effect. What is important also is that in this platform, once you have connected, like Facebook, you have a friend, you connect with a friend. Very interesting. You start to discuss. Well, sometimes it fails. Sometimes you have interest in following the discussion. Then you start to establish a real connection. And then you need, in the business-to-business model, you need to implement processes. And this platform will provide you with processes to transparently track the delivery of the service. It's a key feature, I would say, and this is really the blockchain technology that car. At a certain time, you will need to demonstrate that the car is trustable. You can trust in this car. For example, in case, let's say, an accident or you have to repair the car. In the car, you have an accident, you bring it to the dealer, the insurance to the garage, the insurance is paying. You have to repair it with a component. So the tier one supplier, we want to secure that the component is an original part. The insurance will secure that if it's a security component, for example, that is being repaired the right way. So everything is about data that is exchanged between companies. But what we will keep in the registry of the ID card is just that at a certain point of time during the life of the car, there was an accident. The car was repaired in the OEM garage network, and it was repaired with an original part. You don't know exactly what happened, but you know that you can trust this car because you have successful partners that are on the cycle of operation. So this is the second point, which is important. And at the end, for the companies, when they come to the first thing that we were thinking about companies is They were going to come on the platform to build new services, find new opportunities of business, etc. So, well, of course, everybody's doing it. But the first very good application was process efficiency. If you take, we have an example of a fleet manager. They want to track the delivery of the car from the order of the guy that will drive the car to the end to the end of the process, which is the delivery of the car to the person that ordered the car. It is a complex process today. It is a process that's going from the production system. You never know when the car will be produced. Then you have to deliver the car. Sometimes it has been produced in the US, like my Mercedes, and delivered in France, you don't know where. You don't know if it has been done. Then you have to start the administrative part of the car. Then, of course, you are late, so you send the guy that delivers the car from Lyon to Paris to deliver the car because it's a premium car. So you have to be on top of for the service. Behind the nightmare, there is also a huge administrative organization that is doing this more or less 1 million times per year because they buy or sell 1 million cars per year. So you imagine if you automate everything, and we have in the platform all the components to automate everything. So we have, as you can see here, really unlock, as we say, business value, which is simplification of processes, simply. And of course, for new opportunities, you will have a lot of them. I will leave the floor to Damien that concludes.
Thank you, Michel. So this is a very exciting and very complex journey that we at Capgemini very humbly are orchestrating. But it's the journey of those participating, the car makers, the suppliers, the certifiers, those new mobility services, etc. It's your journey, right? It's what we make out of it. Now, when I say humbly, Capgemini is taking the lead on this, as we are doing on some other project on blockchain and B2B platform. I say humbly because it's a complex set of skills that you need to master together to succeed. And the only success factor is the scale, that the only KPI is probably the sustainable adoption at scale that the B2B platform will reach or fail to reach. So it has to be a collaborative journey from the beginning. Now, I summarized on this slide the dimensions which, in my view, are critical factors for success. The first thing is you have to know why. It's the why, the what, and the how of Simon Sinek, right? You have to know why you're doing this. If you're embarking on this journey, you're doing this because you believe in this platformization of the economy that will bring efficiency and new business models to you as a company. That we said already. But it's a completely different mindset. It's not a silo pipeline approach. It's a collaborative mindset where the value comes from the sharing, the collaboration, the smart collaboration. You're not supposed to share everything, obviously, but it's a new mindset. The value comes from the network as well. So if you are already convinced that this is the new mindset, then you can embark on the journey. Then comes the notion of what business are you in? Automotive, healthcare, finance, industry, etc. And that's very much business-centric. You have to define within the partners who are the stakeholders you will welcome, your competitor, your partners, your suppliers. And that's a lot of business intelligence. The one thing you don't want to do is disrupt everything at once. And so finding the right angle, the right partnership to start with, the right use case, which will not be too disruptive, that's part of the success of the journey as well. The functional expertise is essential. It's not a generic mindset. It's about a deep understanding of the auto ecosystem, the challenges, the pain points, where the value is created in the value chain, etc. There's a deep knowledge understanding of the auto sector or the healthcare sector if you're looking at the healthcare. It's about process mapping. It's about having the right subject matter experts before talking about technology, by the way. Then comes technology once you know what you want to do and achieve. And technology, as always, is just humbly, again, an enabler of your business purpose. I think it's important to say that because we often say, hey, let's find a blockchain initiative for the sake of blockchain. Well, no, blockchain comes in support of. In this case, you need blockchain for the reasons we discussed, right? You need trust, and you need to trust the sharing of data, you need to trust the identity of the car. So you need to design it properly to serve the purpose you want to achieve. It's not only about blockchain in this journey, it's about intelligent automation, analytics, cloud, RPA to some extent, IoT to inform the identity of the car. So it goes beyond blockchain by far. Once you assemble your key partners to start with, which we did, it's about designing, it's about designing together. And that's the agile DevOps mindset, where you'll find a scoping, a minimum viable product. And there we hate to talk about proof of concept. We believe that POC is the noise that a project makes when it fails, right? POC. We hate to talk about POCs. We talk about minimum viable product. We talk about value creation right from the beginning. Otherwise, it's an initiative in the lab, a laboratory, which will stay in the lab, right? You've been there. The last big piece, which will make it scale or not, is about, can you agree on financing? And can you agree on the governance of the platform? And that's the big question that a number of initiatives are right now asking themselves about. Who should govern this platform? Capgemini, one car maker, a set of car makers, insurers, everyone, French, European. The question is the inclusiveness of and the mindset around the platform. How inclusive are you? How global are you? How ready are you to share with competitors, etc.? So it's a big business discussion to have, and the definition, the design of the governance will reflect exactly your purpose and will probably condition the scale of your platform. On a recent example I'm working on, we are considering creating a foundation because it's a truly multi-stakeholder global initiative, and there's no way one stakeholder can take the power or one region can take the power. So we ended up deciding it would be a foundation not for profit, which will govern the platform. And then, obviously, there are businesses around it which can evolve, etc. But the governance is key. It's probably the trickiest challenge that we're going to face. And the business model is the last one. What is the business value for each stakeholder? What is the new way of making money on the platform? So it's a freemium or pay-as-you-use or membership fees, business models. So again, very fascinating, very complex journey. It's all about collaboration, and it's a new set of challenges. So, you know, the services around the car will pop up as long as you trust your car and as long as you trust your business partners. That's where blockchain comes into the game. It's about collaboration. We started reaching out to a number of car makers, suppliers, dealer networks, new actors of the mobility, insurance companies, and fleet managers. But as it's about scale, everyone is welcome to join and participate and contribute and be an active leader in this initiative. So welcome.